In this episode, I'm going to talk about the 3 pieces in your sales ecosystem that you need in order to create so much power to acquire clients that you need to work way less, not more. Because let's face it, most entrepreneurs are grinding like crazy to create every single client, and you don't want that. Getting a client consumes so much time. There is very little left for anything else, for creating things, for innovating. And I'm not even talking about your lifestyle, your family, your personal life, your social life, your self-care, your self-love, and all those kind of things. And welcome to the From Grind to Grace podcast. This is a podcast for the alternative entrepreneur, the entrepreneur who is ready to flip the script and choose freedom first, when freedom is not a destination for you, when freedom is the way you create and grow your business. Because when you do that, success becomes a byproduct and you enjoy the process. And I'm not saying it's an option, I'm saying it's a must. The only question is, how do you do that? And so in one of the last episodes, I was talking about 2 pieces that you need to sort of look at in order to embrace freedom right now and create your business from freedom. And the 2 pieces are the way you approach the be part in the be, do, have equation, and the way you approach the do part in that equation. And so this episode is about the do part. I am going to dive to give you a little more detail, more insight into what creates leverage, power, expansion in your customer client acquisition. And it was a very interesting thing for me to find at some point, because I'm such a marketing junkie and I learned all sorts of strategies and methods and tactics. And at some point, I was thinking, that is very slow. That is consuming all my time. That is something, or none of those things is something that I really want to teach to my people. I was coaching people, I was coaching other people's clients, but on my own side of things, it wasn't really what was deeply resonating with me. And I knew I didn't want to use those things forever. I was grinding like crazy. I was almost proud about it. Yes, I can do it. And I believe you can do it too. The question is it worth it? If you grind so much for every single client without leaving yourself an option to do things with your family, which was the case for me way too often, without leaving yourself the option to meet with your friends, which was the case, for me, I totally isolated myself from the world for a while. And the grind wasn't the only reason. I was also a mom to a small daughter. I decided to stay at home with her. So, it was a handful already. On top of that, I was grinding. And most of the time that I had to work was evenings when she is in bed. And some other events in my life, including the, the pandemic, including some other events in my personal life, got me thinking, how can I do, how can I acquire clients, or how can I grow my business in a more powerful way? I started thinking, okay, if today I have 2 hours for my business, what can I do? What are the most powerful things I can do in those 2 hours? And so, yeah, that's the silver lining as usual. It's so interesting, right? In that difficult situation, I was forced to think about different things, about different ways of doing things. And so eventually, actually, I did run into something really powerful, and I discovered these 3 pieces. Not that I didn't really know about them before, like I did, and I was helping my clients with those things. But I looked at them, I rediscovered them from a slightly different angle, and that slightly different angle changed everything. So the 3 pieces in your sales ecosystem is obviously something to sell, which is your offer. The second piece is your sales message, which is the words you use to present your offer. You can see it as a presentation. And also what you do to do the actual selling, how you sell. Because there are many ways. You can be grinding on social, you can be trying to be on every platform, you can be dancing on TikTok, you can be posting YouTube videos, you could be building funnels, and you could be creating a value ladder, creating lead magnets, creating bump orders and upsells and downsells, and sending emails and nurturing your audience with those emails. You can get them to buy your front-end low ticket offer, and then nurture them to get them to buy your back-end higher ticket offer. So that is all cool, but that's a lot of moving pieces. People, entrepreneurs, are involved in handling so many moving pieces. And I spoke about the problem with that in my last episode, about why a lot of things that people do are weak and they are not broadcasting a powerful message into the marketplace. They are not broadcasting a lot of value in the marketplace, and that in its own is a huge problem. And that's one of the reasons people are grinding. And the way I see grinding, actually, it's not that it's the problem, it's a symptom. And I really want you to hear this, if you are grinding, it's the same like if you are reacting to something in a very negative way, is a symptom of something going on in your mind, in your subconsciousness, that is triggering you. And that is causing you to act in that way. It's the same with a grind. If you find yourself grinding, it's a symptom that something somewhere is off. And so for me, what I understood when I discovered how to approach these three pieces in the sales ecosystem was that they were not carrying a lot of value. They were not bringing a lot of value on the table and not broadcasting a lot of value into the marketplace. So the first piece is the offer, your offer, the thing that you sell. And so what is interesting is that it's very similar effort. It requires a very similar effort to sell a free thing, to sell a low ticket thing, cheap thing, and a big thing, an expensive thing. Similar effort. So you could be grinding all day long to sell a $27 ebook, which I used to do. I was running ads. I was posting on Facebook. Hard work to make one sale, and it's $27. It's similarly hard, or well, hard relatively, according to people's perception. It's the same effort to sell a big, an expensive piece, a high ticket piece. But it gets easier when you approach it differently. And when I say high ticket, I don't mean like 1K, 2K, 3K. I mean at least 6K. And when people hear about this kind of price, entrepreneurs, because what I do with people is usually, we take a look at their offer. It's almost always the case that their offer is way too cheap for all the transformation they give to the marketplace, to their audience. So we work on reframing it. There are ways I do it. And so we bring it to at least 6K to start with, and then more. And a lot of people freak out, but a lot of people don't. If they get what is going on, and what is going on is really not focusing on raising the price. It's focusing on delivering more value and on delivering transformation. And it's interesting, I was getting ready to record this episode, and I looked at my Facebook memories, and it's like it needed to happen. I saw this post that I posted today, a year ago, I believe. And it's a quote from Jen Sincero, a really cool woman. I really like what she's doing. She talks a lot about money mindset, and you could look her up if you don't know her. But the quote says, "You are meant to thrive, and by thriving, you automatically help others to thrive too." So the idea and the point here is that do not look at creating high ticket offers from raising the price point of view. Look at your offers from raising the transformation point of view, the transformation for your people, from serving your people point of view, from helping them to thrive. A lot of people are so scared of raising the price because they don't know, they don't feel why they should do it. Because they don't feel deep down that they are contributing enough. If we don't feel, we are social creatures. Selling is a social activity because it happens through interaction between two parties, at least two parties. It's a social activity, which is why we are wired to give during the sales process. So if you don't, if you just raise your price for the sake of raising the price, that's why you're feeling bad about it. But if you look up at your offer and raising the price and creating a high ticket offer, really, really high ticket offer from the point of view of serving better, that is when you start feeling good about what you're selling. That's what creates that conviction and certainty. And that is when raising the price actually, it makes sense and it becomes easy. You know why you do it. You know you are giving people the transformation. Now, here is the other thing about high ticket offers. What I've seen and actually experienced myself, I used to think back in the day, high ticket offer is a lot of work. The bigger the price, the more work I need to do. And the tricky piece here is that if you feel any sort of resistance, so one point of resistance could be you don't feel that you're giving enough value for that price. Next piece of resistance could be it might mean more work for you because now you have to show up a lot for your clients. Now you have to do a lot of hand holding or whatever the case, or create a lot of features and deliverables. And that is yet another false belief. Because really, and even if it was the case at some point, maybe, I do remember the times where offers used to include everything under the sun. There used to be massive stacks that, deliverable after deliverable after deliverable, then, a gazillion of bonuses. And that kind of used to give the impression that it's more valuable. You stack the price, the value, then you uncover the price you're asking, and somehow that used to work, but it does not anymore. The worldwide trend is that the whole industry, the whole world now is moving from information industry to transformation industry, and that says something. And even transformation industry is also, going to an end. Now we are kind of starting to move into experience industry, and that's very, very interesting, also very exciting. And I'm maybe I'll talk about it at some point a little more, but it looks like people are getting back to actually experiencing things. But the point here is that it's more about the transformation and experience that you give to people than stacking a lot of features and deliverables into your offers. That actually doesn't work. People do not want more information. They want more transformation. So, and I'll do more episodes about how to create that transformation in many cases. And what I see working with my clients is that most people already have that transformation in there, in those offers. The problem is they are not expressing it correctly. And that's where maybe some skill is required. So your energy, how you feel about everything, drives everything, but it's a bit of a chicken and egg, what I noticed when I work with people and I help them to uncover and express the value in their offers, they become happier about their offers themselves, and then their energy changes a lot. So it is not about more work. It's about showing people the transformation and expressing it and using it in your naming and in your offer description and those kind of things. And less is more for both parties, for you and for your client. Nobody wants to watch a gazillion of videos, right? People want the result. And the result being a transformation of some sort. And I'm not talking about the kind of transformation, go from 5 leads a month to 200 leads a month. That's the transformation. No, I'm talking about the bigger outcome, how it's going to affect, their life, their business, those kind of things. So that's one piece, the offer. Now the sales message. I've seen so many frameworks, and I've geeked out on copywriting. I write copy. I know how it's made. I picked certain things from direct response marketing. I picked some certain things from other places. I eked out with words and phrases and metaphors, analogies and things like that. And I've created my own proverbs. I've learned proverb creation formula. It's crazy. I love those things though. It amazes me what you can do with words and how you create different perceptions with different words, how you create different feelings, how you can get people to feel differently just by using words. It's amazing. And yes, copywriting is a skill, yet a lot of copywriting, a lot of messaging in our industry is very formulaic. Now, creating a good message is actually easier than you think. Once you understand certain principles, and I'll dive deeper on some of those principles in later episodes. There is no time for everything in just one piece of podcast. But the big piece that I want you to understand, the big point about your sales message I want you to understand is that when you create your sales message following certain principles infused with your energy, it further increases the value of what you are selling. It's crazy. Just the way you are selling further increases the value of your thing. It's amazing. Why do you want to do that? Now, if you are selling high ticket, obviously you need a message that is able to sell high ticket. And we sell high ticket, and I want you to sell high ticket, go high ticket to create leverage. The ecosystem, and this is a side note, maybe something I forgot to mention, that this ecosystem is designed, and I call it quantum leap, pretty much, or quantum sales party, I call it, is when you create so many sales or so much revenue in just one go that you only work for, you only do the selling for a few days a month, and you create your month's revenue or more in one go. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm talking about this system, because it's part of creating freedom in your life. It's while creating wealth, while growing your business. That's what I'm talking about. This. So if you go high ticket, which is part of this idea of becoming a more free person, collapsing time, and freeing yourself from grinding, you want to go high ticket. Just imagine if you have a 10K offer and you only want to do 5-figure months, you sell one offer a month. Isn't that cool? Right? And I mean, that's why you need a message that is able to sell high ticket. And I'm not talking about, you drag your people to get them to buy or to get them to download your free magnet. Actually, I do not support the idea of a lead magnet, because the lead magnet gets you free people, gets you leads that are looking for free stuff. That's why it's such a grind to convert them to high ticket, to get them to buy your back end high ticket offer. And it's a lot of work. Again, you're promoting your lead magnets, and then you're promoting more, to drive them to your high ticket. So anyway, the point is, your sales message needs to be able to sell high ticket, not through a sales call, but before you meet with people and I don't even call it a sales call, it's more like enrollment call, because you pre-sell people so well beforehand that they are almost closed when they get on the call, and the call with you is just a formality, maybe a few last questions, and then the actual transaction and things like that. And there is a way to create a sales message like that. There is a freaking way. And it's easy. And I'm obviously not going to give you the whole framework here. There is a framework, and I love this framework because it leaves so much room for your own genius to shine. And that, and your energy and, improvisation, jazzy stuff, having fun, including all sorts of bits and pieces that depend on your mood that day, maybe, because that message doesn't have to be like written word by word, and it can change. You can tell one time, one day you can tell one piece, another day you can pick another piece, depending on whatever you feel like in that moment. That's one reason why I like this way. The other reason is why I like this way of writing this message, or not writing, crafting this message, is that it's highly transformational, and it moves people from one identity to another identity just during your sales process. It is crazy. Meaning what? Again, Just the same thing as with your offer, with high ticket offer. It's about serving better, not about raising the price for the sake of raising the price. The message itself as well, the sales message is serving. It's crafted the way that it serves people, it moves them. And it gets them to even tear up. It happened to me when I was involved in this kind of selling. And as somebody who was selling, I also teared up more than once. It creates the vibe, it creates a transformation. It doesn't sound salesy. And usually people want more of it. It's amazing. So high ticket offer, a powerful offer requires a powerful message. Obviously, people are not gonna just open their wallet just because you said so. So you need a powerful message. Now, the way you sell it, the way you do the actual selling and delivery of your message. So many people want to stay behind the scenes. They create funnels, they create video sales letters, they create long form sales letters. And those things are cool, and I totally appreciate the skill. However, it's not the most powerful way to deliver your message. As you can imagine, as it worked since human beings are on this earth, is actually direct interaction. It's live interaction. And when I say direct, I don't mean physically. Obviously, physically would be the best. But physically kind of deviates from the idea of leverage, because now we have to organize venue, now we have to get people to come, it's less leverage, although it works. Obviously it works powerfully when you do, right? What I'm talking about is delivering your message in the form of training, or I call it a party, over Zoom. You use technology. And now suddenly you are selling one-to-many at the same time, but you are also leverage the collective energy. It's so important. They feel your energy. There is this collective energy. And it's not some sort of a woo-woo kind of thing. I was researching these things. It has to do with, among other things, but one aspect of it is what is called neural entrainment. And it's fascinating how when you tell stories or when you tell your messages in a certain way, everyone's in the room, even if it's a virtual room, emotional state syncs and hormonal state syncs. It's some deep stuff, but it happens. Scientists were actually measuring that in an audience. They measure their hormonal constitution at the start of an event, and then they kept measuring. And in the beginning, people were coming with different, they were in different emotional states, different hormonal, states. But as the event progressed, those states were becoming very similar. They were syncing along the way. And towards the end of the event, everyone was in this similar state, which is so interesting. But that's why this works so powerfully. And that's why I love it so much, because it's so human. It is so powerful because it has ever worked. It's heavily based on human wiring. And that's when you need minimal technology, minimal funnel. The only thing that you need is to drive people to your little training, your party, to get them to register. That's the only tech that you need. It's so simple. It's so lean, because the way you craft your offer, your sales message, and how you deliver your message works so powerfully. You do not need layers upon layers upon layers of tech, of deliverables, of, I don't know, lead magnets, upsells, downsells, and those kind of things. One good offer is enough. One good message is enough. When you have nailed that message, you actually use it everywhere. It feeds into everything you do. And also the way you deliver the message through live interaction with your audience, it creates so much ease and creates so much fun. And at the same time, it's so close to what makes humans human. Meaning it's so powerful. It creates that sense that people belong. People want to belong. People are social creatures. They want to belong. They get to interact. Right. You do need to do it in a certain way. It's a bit of a learning curve, but again, when you get the principles, it becomes very easy. And most of the stuff is really just feeling good about what you are selling, which is your high ticket offer and how you position and how you feel that it serves. But at the end of the day, it's really worth it because it's such a lean ecosystem. 3 pieces. I call it quantum offer. And then your sales message, and then how you deliver the message. Only 3 pieces. And it creates wonders. It creates so much leverage. Just this do part of the be do have principle. And that's what we want. That's what you want in your business. Leverage. Because leverage creates big wins with way less effort. And that's when you actually create freedom in your business, because that is why we're doing this. We are doing this for freedom. I am doing this for freedom. I started this for freedom. Then something along the line distracted me from this. And I started thinking about tangible things, leads, conversions, metrics, all those kind of things. And then eventually I remembered, oh my God, where is my freedom? I want it. And so this ecosystem is very good for creating freedom, because you don't need to grind when you have it in your business. So I hope this was useful, and I will be diving more into the 3 pieces of how you do them in future episodes. And if you enjoy this, if you think that somebody need to hear this, please share and please follow this podcast, because that's how we are going to expand the idea of creating a business from the place of freedom, instead of making a freedom an impossible destination when you grind. So with that, my friend, thank you for tuning in, and I'll talk to you next time.